From the BBC World Service, in association with ABC and Akashvani, this is Stumped.
Hello and welcome to Stumped, your intercontinental hit of news, features and debate from the quirky world of cricket. I'm Alison Mitchell in my hotel room in Perth, where I'm here for the eagerly awaited Border Gavaskar Trophy, Australia and India's men going up against it in Test cricket. But another fixture has been getting some interest over here as well, and that is for the female cricketers of Afghanistan, who fled the country in 2021 in the wake of the Taliban takeover. And listeners and viewers to Stumped will know that we have been keeping that story in the consciousness of the public. And now, on the 30th of January, they will play a match together for the first time against another community-level team, Cricket Without Borders. That's going to happen in Melbourne, and a plan is being worked on for an ongoing programme of support with the help of private donors and some within the game. But of course, we spoke about the story a lot when the girls just didn't have any support from the ICC, but things are starting to happen in different areas now. So 30th of January is going to be a real landmark day for them.
I'm Clint Wilden, also in Perth, not that far away from where Ali is staying in the studios of the ABC, filling in for Jim Maxwell. And it's been an exciting week and a bit here. The build-up has been enormous for the first test of the Border Gavaskar Trophy. And I've really enjoyed seeing Virat Kohli on either the front or back page of the local newspaper for pretty much every single day. They've had a great deal of fun. It's been great to see such build-up. But I did like yesterday when they put him in the Where's Wally or the Where's Waldo style costume, having a little dig at, is anyone from India going to speak? Fortunately, they did. It took them a while, but they got there eventually. But it's been great to see so much cricket coverage for this build-up, for this amazing test series about to start.
Well, that's sort of likely to be. I'm a little curious, though. I wonder if all the coverage has been in Punjabi or Hindi or whatever else for the Indian cricket team. But I'm Charu Sharma for Akashvani. No large change in my situation. It seems like I'm the only person not in Perth, but I'm in Bangalore once again rehabbing and making sure that I'm... Yeah, well, thank you. Very kind of you. Rehabbing and getting set for my first travels after my surgery, which, of course, begins with my 50th school batch reunion in Mayo College in Ajmer, followed by a building that's being dedicated for my father in the school, and thereafter a family wedding. So I think I'm sort of on some kind of a rebound, revenge travel spree soon. But of course, a very sharp eye on all the goings-on at the BGT.
Definitely. I hope your travels go well, Charu. Now, coming up on the show today, we will be joining the England men's test camp to talk about their series in New Zealand with fast bowler Gus Atkinson. But after we had the greatest fast bowler from England, Jimmy Anderson, on the show last week, we have turned to Australia's greatest off-spinner, Nathan Lyon, for a chat this week. What with Australia hosting India for this epic 5-test series between now and early January. And Clint, yeah, I've similarly enjoyed the newspaper build-up here. I think the Aussie media might prey a little bit on the prickliness shown by India's coach Gautam Gambhir, the way he responded to some comments Ricky Ponting made recently, but also the fact that, yeah, Charu, you're right, some of the newspaper articles have been published in Hindi as well, to appeal to the Indian population in Perth and the fans who have been coming over as well. But the facts are, India have not lost a test series to Australia for a decade, and they're looking to retain the Border Gavaskar Trophy after winning the last series in India 2-1 last year. More significantly, they've won the last 2 series that the sides have played here in Australia, although the Aussies did beat them in the one-off World Test Championship final in London last year. But Nathan Lyon has 530 test wickets, 6 behind Ashwin at the start of this series. He's 8th in the all-time list of test wicket takers. And known in these parts as the GOAT, I caught up with him at Perth Stadium as he was putting the finishing touches to his preparations and asked him if the Border Gavaskar Trophy is getting bigger than the Ashes.
I don't think it's getting bigger than the Ashes series. It's getting important. Every Ashes or every Test match is important, but I feel like the hype around the Border Gavaskar Trophy is getting bigger and bigger, and obviously India is a powerhouse, aren't they? So it's pretty special. We're looking forward to it. It's been a long 10 years since we've had any success over the team, so we're looking forward to turning that around this year.
Do you think India are particularly vulnerable at the moment, given the way they just lost that series to New Zealand?
No, definitely not. You look at the team that they got, the squad they've got out here, the experience that they've got, and some of the players tend to have a decent record out here as well. So they've obviously had a fair amount of success out here over the last couple of years. So No, they're definitely not vulnerable. New Zealand played well, and hats off to them.
I think cricket fans are going to be quite spoilt this series, being able to see two off-spinners in the same series who have more than 500 Test wickets each, with you and Ashwin. Is there anything particular about his game that you admire? Because you're both masters of your craft, but in slightly different ways.
I've said it publicly before, I've got nothing but respect for Ash, the way he's gone about it. But he's also been probably one of my biggest coaches as well. And I know that sounds weird, but I've always said that the people that you play against tend to be some of your best coaches, and even the guys you play with as well. So I've learned so much off Ash, and I'll continue to do that as well, because cricket's one of the games where you'll never conquer it. So there's so much learning out there.
Now, can batters be good teachers as well? Because Ash has said that he believes he's figured out Steve Smith now. Are you still figuring out Virat Kohli, do you reckon?
Oh, yeah, very, very much so. And that's probably what differs me from Ash, I guess. I think he's probably figured out a few people, as he said. So I'm still learning, and I don't think I'll ever conquer the game. So there's so much learning for me to do, and I'll continue to try and learn.
So we had Jimmy Anderson on the pod last week, and he was saying that he felt that Kohli for him was always more difficult to bowl to than Steve Smith, because he felt Kohli always had scoring options against him. What are you thinking about when you're bowling to Virat?
I don't know. Smithy scored a fair amount of runs against England. So what am I thinking against Virat? It's not just Virat. I'm thinking about every batter. How do I get challenge their defence for long periods of time? I'm not one for overcomplicating things. There's going to be different times and different roles where I'm going to have to play throughout this summer. But I'm excited by that, and it's just not Vera that I'm focused on. It's everyone.
When you reached 100 consecutive Test matches, I know that was a very proud milestone for you, and then that calf injury struck at Lord's. Has that time out of the game changed your perspective on cricket and your career and the significance of series like this in any way?
No, it's probably made me hungrier, to be honest. I think I would have liked the injury, if it was to happen, it happened at the back end of the series when we were 4-0 up or whatnot. But I think it's gave me a great understanding and gave me time to reflect on how lucky I've been throughout my whole career, and that's something that I'm extremely proud about. But it's probably made me hungrier than ever to come out here and have success and play my role, and hopefully go on to have a lot of team success. That's probably more important than anything to me.
So beyond this series, what else are you hungry for?
Oh, everything.
Wicket tallies, caps tallies, series?
No, I don't look at games played. I don't look at wickets taken. It's about series played, series wins for me. And by doing that, you're winning Test matches along the way. So I'm not about personal success. When career's done in a number of years' time, I'll be able to sit back and reflect with family and friends. But that's well down the track. I'm not even considering that at the moment.
How hungry are you for another crack at England in the Ashes?
Oh, yeah, very hungry. As I said, it's probably it's driven me to be hungrier than ever before, and that's probably exciting for me. It's just Mount Shaw. As I said before, I've played with some greats and against some greats of the game, and as I said, there's so much learning in this game, and I've never met anyone that's come close to conquering it. So, yeah, I'm hungry. There you go.
Do you see yourself playing till you're 40? I mean, you spent some time with Jimmy Anderson, didn't you, playing in the same team at Lancashire for, was it only one game last English summer? I'd love to know how you found that generally, being in a team with Jimmy. And then did you discuss or talk about longevity at all?
No, yeah, we spoke. I actually thoroughly enjoyed my time with Jimmy on the field. Then off the field, we had dinner a couple of times and sat down and had a couple of beers, which was really nice. And to be on the same side, striving for the same result for Lancashire it was really good. But to be at mid on and for him to be in mid spell, walking back to me, asking me what I reckon and having those cricket conversations, but just watching and admiring what he's gone about and how he's gone about in the game, still blows me away that he's not playing Test cricket. To be honest with you,
do you wish he was?
Yeah, I do. I feel like he's England's best bowler even today, and he's retired. So I've got nothing. As I said, I've got nothing but respect for Jimmy as well and the way he's gone about it. But did we speak longevity? We probably more spoke longevity in the long room when I was waiting the bat to go out. When I did my calf, he stood next to me and he goes, he spoke about longevity there and why give up something when you love it so much.
Really, he said that to you in that moment?
Along those lines, yeah.
So do you think you'll play when you're 40?
Who knows?
Would you like to?
Yes, there you go. Yeah. Why not?
Why not, exactly. Now, there is another Ashes series going on at the moment, in fact, the visually impaired Ashes, the blind Ashes, and you do a lot of work with disability cricket through Cricket Australia, and I know you feel very passionately about it. Is the blind game, do you feel, getting the support that it needs worldwide at this moment in time?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think we're improving, especially here in Cricket Australia, but I'm fortunate enough to spend a bit of time with the ECB guys at Lords a number of months ago, and I was fascinated about the way they go about it and the support that Lords Taverners over there do. I feel like we're heading in the right direction, as I'm talking as a world game here and not just Cricket Australia, but I feel like if we can compete, continue to build a safe community and a safe place for people to come out and play the game of cricket that I love so much, that we love so much. And at the end of the day, cricket's a sport for all. And Oscar Stubbs and the rest of the guys competing in the Ashes up on the Gold Coast at the moment, they're no different for me. They're Australian cricketers and they should be extremely proud.
Did I see that you're going to have a message in Braille on your bat during this series? Yeah,
I'm going to stick it on the bat. It says a sport for all. It's spelled out as well, so people don't see just white dots. But yeah, it's pretty special to have Braille on my bat. Might help me to find my bat in my bag as well. But
so you better not toe end any.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident I'll do that.
Am I right in saying you took some sign language lessons when you were doing some work with the deaf cricketers?
Yeah. On the path of learning Auslan. So that's challenging in its own right. But it's also rewarding as well when you can communicate with the hearing or the impaired. So for me to do that, it's I know it's more beneficial for me than anyone else. But it's quite rewarding.
And I know you've spoken in the past about the chances of whether VI cricket could make it to the Olympic Games, Brisbane in 2032 in particular. Have you got any idea the likelihood of that? Do you feel confident? Are people sort of moving in the right direction, do you feel, to try and push that as a cause?
I'm definitely for it. I think cricket's in the Olympics in a number of years' time, and I was thinking blind cricket, and I'd love to see all disability cricket, to be honest, to be played in the Olympics. But obviously, I feel like the blind game is probably a little bit more advanced at this stage with the support networks around. But yeah, I'd love to see it, and I think it should be. Yeah.
So that was Nathan Lyon, Australia's greatest off-spinner. And so with, the 2032 Summer Olympics and Paralympics being staged in Brisbane, he's clearly very keen for visually impaired cricket to be part of the programme there. Clint, he's a great conversation, isn't he? And he's going to have a big part to play in this upcoming Test series. You and I are both in Perth now for this, and I think he, along with everyone else, is pleased now the series is getting underway finally.
No doubt about that. And I think he'll have an enormous role, particularly here at Perth Stadium. Everyone always talks about the pace and bounce. I'm not sure if we'll get that because the conditions haven't been conducive to the sort of deck that you want to see in the West. But Nathan Lyon has taken more wickets in Perth than anyone else, any of the other Australian fast bowlers. So I think he'll play an enormous role. I think spin will also play, as we all sort of suspect, an enormous role too. I'm really intrigued by how this plays out. The Australians haven't lost a test in Perth at Perth Stadium. They played 4 times and won all 4, but it's also it seems to be so heavily weighted on whatever team bats first. And we've seen that where whoever seems to bat first gets an enormous score, and the innings tallies have gone down smaller and smaller as the innings continue on. So there's a lot to play out here. Always exciting when you get an Australian debutant as an Aussie. So really looking forward to see what Nathan McSweeney can do. It certainly raised a few eyebrows when he was, someone who's never played as an opener and gets picked to play as an opener. So we're really keen to see what he can do as well. But there's superstars everywhere, Ali. Can't wait for it.
There are. I actually met Nathan McSweeney at the ground the other day, this crop of tightly curled blonde hair, and he was, I'd say, calmly excited to be given a crack at Test cricket, albeit in this unfamiliar position of opening the batting. Cherry, what are the expectations like in India for this team, given that 3-0 loss to New Zealand?
I think I'll have to use the term muted. there's a lot of talk, of course, about the series coming up in Australia, but a lot of it's focusing on, of course, the age brigade, as there are a few for Australia as well, and on injuries, because there was a big scare for Kohli and a couple of others, Rahul as well, but they seem to be okay now. And of course, Shubman Gill has gotten his finger injured because of a catch in one of those mock matches. So, and he is a pretty vital cog. So injuries are getting a lot of focus, and that might set the stage. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be negative, for a possibly not so good show because of the fact that they're going in a little light. And of course, there's also a lot of focus on the bowling. Now, Bumrah is clearly one of the best in the world, and I'm sure he'll enjoy the conditions, but the rest are relatively new. Siraj has done a bit. I have the highest regard for Akashdeep, who is one of the most accurate bowlers I've ever seen. Now, he's only 135 or so, but the fact that he's so nagging and a great seam position, he might enjoy those conditions, get a little bit of extra bounce, who alone knows. And they've flown in a couple of extra seamers. As you may know, Yash Dayal from South Africa has gone straight, the lefty seamer, to Australia to perhaps form a little buffer there, the possibility. There's Rana there as well. So there is a lot of focus on fast bowling, although Nathan Lyon, of course, was on about Ashwin, more on Ashwin later, I suppose. But there are plenty of concerns, Alison, as India go into this very important battle. And I can assure you that all the noises are not about winning again.
Well, next on Stumps, Test series are coming thick and fast at the moment. England's men's Test team are currently in New Zealand for their three-match tour, which begins next week. And New Zealand come into the series in good form, having recently become the first side to inflict that clean sweep on India in a series of 3 Tests or more, that is. They'll also bid farewell to Tim Southee during the series. He's announced his retirement from Test cricket after an 18-year career. Now, the England squad includes fast bowler Gus Atkinson, who was recently awarded the Bob Willis Trophy by the Cricket Writers Club as England's Player of the Year. That after a debut Test summer where he took 34 wickets and scored a maiden Test 100. And I was lucky enough to witness the start of this career as well. And Gus joins us now from Queenstown, I believe. Gus, how are you going? What a wonderful place Queenstown is. How's it going so far?
Yeah, it's good. It's my first time in New Zealand, so it's I've heard a lot of good things about it. So yeah, it's been very nice so far. Still a bit jet lagged, but no, it's going very well, thanks.
Gus, congratulations on what's been a terrific 2024 and indeed having your name on 3 Lords Honours boards, which I reckon is tremendous. Last time England went to New Zealand was only February last year, but it had a bowling attack, the English of James Anderson, Stuart Broad and Ollie Robinson. What's it like to be a part of this next generation of English pace bowlers?
Yeah, it's very exciting. I mean, a lot of us obviously haven't played much Test cricket before, so, I feel we're sort of quite, eager to impress, and it will be challenging sort of going into different parts of the world. Obviously, I've never played here, and I think a few of the lads haven't played here, so, it's very exciting. We all sort of get to learn together, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Gus, before the Test match begins, there is this small matter, or should I say a small distraction of the IPL auction. Could be a large distraction. Who knows? Have you heard of any team showing some advanced interest in Mr. Atkinson?
No, I haven't heard anything, to be honest. I mean, it's something I'm not really trying to focus on. Obviously, it can be a bit distracting, but I'm just trying to focus on, getting ready for that first Test, and that is quite a nice distraction to have, obviously. First Test in New Zealand against New Zealand, so yeah, I'm just going to look forward to that. And if the IPL auction goes well for me, then great. But obviously, I'm just trying to focus on the first Test.
No, I was just wondering. Number of players in the squad, including the bowling coach James Anderson, are up for selection. I'm sorry, go back to the IPL, but is there some talk about the auction between the rest of the players as well? You seem quite sort of easy about it, but there could be quite a few fortunes on the line.
No, we haven't really spoken about it at all. I'm sure when it's, the day before and the day of, we'll probably be keeping an eye on it, but no one's really spoken about it yet.
Yeah, and I mentioned that Tim Southee will be signing off. Is he a bowler that you've watched and admired from afar, be it on an opposition side over many years?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's sort of been one of those fast bowlers that's been around the whole time when I've been growing up and watching cricket. So it'd be nice to play against him and his farewell series. So yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to, and maybe get some tips off him after the series is done.
Gus, good luck for the series. Congratulations on the year you've had so far in Test cricket. Wish you all the best. Thanks for being on Stumped.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
That is all we've got time for on this week's Stumped. My thanks to Clint Wilden and Charu Sharma, and to all of you for listening. We'll see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.